Hello, hello, everybody.
What is up?
Welcome to another episode of the PDS Live, where we're going to hang out for a while. We're going to talk about podcasts, we're going to talk about other stuff, then we're going to play video games.
Yes,
It's why we always look forward to Friday nights.
we do look forward to Friday nights. It's always just a great way to end the week and to start the weekend.
It absolutely is. And thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate that as well. We know that you guys probably have other stuff you could be doing on Fridays, so we appreciate you spending it with us.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about it's a very laid back, no, it's a very positive podcast about
Yeah, it's
being
fairly
happier.
it's fairly intense on the
It is intense.
not in a bad way, but just you think about a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're gonna talk more about that. Then we're gonna talk about a bunch of other stuff we discovered, including a very, very special mascot.
So that's on the other Discovery show. That's definitely, oh man, that's going to be a special thing.
I knew as soon as I told Kirk about it, they didn't want to talk about it, but I think it needs to be talked about.
Oh man.
But yeah, hope everybody's doing pretty well. Kirk,
So yeah.
I have not been able to stop thinking about those ice cream cakes at all.
Oh yeah. We watched the Great British Baking Show today. Is it Great British Bake Off?
They call it Bake Off in Britain, but I like it better because it's really you can't really abbreviate Great British Baking Show, and it's so many B's.
Yeah. Anyway, we watched that today, and the newest episode, and they did 80s week, right?
Mm-hmm.
80s week, and the showstopper was an ice cream cake. And they looked
Made both of us
amazing.
want ice cream
It,
cakes.
it made us want to be able to make our own ice cream, and
It made Kirk want me to make an ice cream cake.
it made me want Zach to make an ice cream cake and then bring some to share.
He doesn't actually want to do it. He wants me to do
I
it. He
know.
wants to eat
No,
it.
I'll make the ice cream. That's about as much work as I want to do.
Hmm.
You make the ice cream cake.
Okay. All right.
Oh man. But yeah, and I think are we gonna end up talking about that during Todd's? I know we mentioned
No,
it.
not in Todd's. I'm going to talk about that during the PDS.
Oh, okay. I see. I see. I think it's a good tie-in. I think you're onto something there.
It makes me at least 10% happier.
I had a very voluptuous burp. I needed to.
Oh, I need to
not
start
do
this
on
recording,
mic.
right? Yep, because you need the audios. Let me go ahead and start this to make sure it doesn't do anything wonky.
All right.
It just moved your screen up like a tiny, tiny fraction.
I saw it.
Super weird.
It's because it throws that bar at the bottom. Can you X that bar out and it make it normal? That doesn't stop it, right?
What, you see a bar at the bottom?
Yeah, mine it shows the bar, like the download bar. You know what I mean? Like at the bottom, it shows like actively downloading.
Oh, yeah, I have that too. But no, I just tweaked it. Should be okay.
All right. So all right, let's jump in. So we're already recording, so I can just start, right? Give it like 10 seconds real quick.
Yeah, you can give it 10 seconds, but yeah, we're recording. I see wavelengths for both of us.
Sweet. Welcome to the Podcast Discovery Show, the podcast that's about other podcasts, where every single week we have a book club style discussion about a podcast we were recommended last week. And at the end of this episode, we're going to recommend a brand new one, and we're going to talk about that one next week. I'm Kirk.
And I am Zach. And this week we are talking about a show called 10% Happier. And this is a show by former ABC News anchor Dan Harris. And I kept hearing this show recommended on places like on Reddit, on the podcast subreddit. People would ask, what's a show that will make me feel better when I'm going through a rough time? And this one a lot of times got brought up. And so I looked into it, and then I found out about Dan Harris's specific journey, and it kind of makes it really interesting. So Dan Harris was a journalist for a really long time, and he was filling in on Good Morning America in 2004. And during this, they tossed over to him for him to do, like, he was doing like little short segments in the middle of like Good Morning America. And when they did that, he had a panic attack. And this is on video.
Actively see.
Yeah, you can see it. I'm gonna throw it in chat right now. But yeah, you can see this happen to him. And basically,
it's not long because they're professional, so they cut pretty quick.
Well, yeah, he just sent it back. He's like, okay, and that's everything, and then just stopped. But
you can hear his breath change. You can see it on his face.
Yeah, he describes it as the thing I just leaked in chat is it's also going to be in the show notes. It essentially is him breaking down what this is. So he said, I was overtaken by a massive, irresistible blast of fear. It felt like the world was ending. My heart was thumping, and I was gasping for air. And he had lost the ability to speak pretty much. And so essentially, then he also realized that he was on Good Morning America while this was happening. So he kind of calls this event freaking out in front of 5 million people. And so he bailed on the segment, got
isn't
out
that
of it.
What we do every week?
Yeah, 100%.
That's how many people listen to us.
Yeah,
5 million.
I think so. Our last numbers, I think it was 20 million or so. But basically, he had done a bunch of really intense levels of journalism. So he kind of, after this, he was like, okay, I gotta find a way to fix things. But before, he was like, he literally spent time, he covered wars in Afghanistan, Israel, Palestine, and Iraq. And then essentially he began to self-medicate because he was going through a lot. And in the end, they said that self-medicating could have potentially led to this breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he had to start looking outside of what he was doing. And what he started looking into was meditation. And he kind of frames it, and this is a really great thing that'll be in the show notes that you should check out for sure.
I want to read his book.
Yeah, no, I bet
really
it's awesome because he kind of goes through it with like, okay, I felt like this is all touchy-feely, kind of new agey type stuff. But in the end, meditation is something that, and we've talked about it a lot on
Mm-hmm.
our show, because it's not something that has to be steeped in mysticism. It's something that's a really great tool for kind of balancing in general, trying to quiet.
It can be very religious. It can be very secular. It can be any of those things.
Yeah, you try and quiet that constant narration, that critical voice in your head. And so essentially through all of his, like, he was trying to find a way to fix himself, to be more positive, to help himself. And he ended up writing a book called 10% Happier. And then he made a podcast by the same name. And so it was just a really interesting way to, like, kind of approach making a show. And kind of his subject matter is also very interesting. And we chose the episode because of the title. Because we're all living it. Everybody's living it right now. Everybody's living it in 2020. The episode is called How to Be Grateful When Everything Sucks.
I mean, there's no better title for, I mean, and it is a timely one. This is, and during this time, it wasn't like an old episode. They knew when they recorded this that everything just sucks. It just does. In fact, they recorded this during like the election cycle. It was at the end of like a series, right? Because they were talking about the series of all of these other things to try to calm people down during this time of division and crazy stuff, which we're not going to talk about politics. It's just crazy stuff that's going on all the time. But there's just so many things going on at one time. And that's, I mean, honestly, I've felt so overwhelmed lately.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, it's not one thing. It's a mountain of 40 things that culminate to just this feeling of overwhelming, like, stress. And you feel like you're on the edge all the time, where like anything will just set you off, either make you super sad or angry or, you know, just depressed. It's a weird time right now.
We're always riding that knife's edge of emotion. You know, this episode, the guest host, the guest interviewee is Dara Williams. And she even mentions that at one point, that it's not like a thing. I think her verbiage was something like the accumulation of tough things that starts to get to you. And I would say I don't really consider it a hot take, and I feel like it's a very, very common feeling right now. 2020 has been a lot. We have a pandemic.
2020 can just F right
Yeah,
off.
we've had a
Yeah,
pandemic. We've had an election
like
cycle, like unrest. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it weighs a lot. Over time, it just gets heavy on your shoulders. And so it definitely, for me, me too, and probably a lot of people, it is that accumulation of just there's a lot going on, and it starts to eat at you a little bit.
if ever I were to have to like hit my head and go into a coma and lose a year of my life, this is the year that I wish I would have lost.
I don't,
I
yeah,
don't. I don't. I want to wake up in 2022 or halfway through 2021, hopefully, and be like, "Wait, 2020 sucked that bad? Like,
whoa, that sounds terrible.
there's no way it could be as bad as you're saying." Because yeah,
Yeah,
it's been special. It's been a special kind of terrible.
it really has, and that's the thing that I feel like made me kind of want to choose this one because I feel like I feel like there is some comfort in that we are all having the same year. And that,
You're right. You're right. I mean, it's not just you. It's not just me. We're all in the same boat in a lot of granted there's different levels and variations of this same crap storm that we're all in, but in a sense we're all in this together. Separately but together.
yeah,
6 feet
separately,
apart.
yeah, socially
But
distanced and wearing masks, but together in spirit.
and I love the concept, and man, I've got to work on it better myself. I've got to try to put this into practice. The whole concept of being more grateful and having a sense of gratitude, uh, even during and through a difficult time.
Yeah.
It's almost a meditative practice, uh, which is to meditate on something positive that you have that you can think about that's not on top of all the mountain of horrible things. Because let's be completely honest, we're a blessed people most of the time.
Yeah.
We have a lot to be thankful for, a lot to be grateful for. I know I do, but
Yeah.
it's so easy to just to see the mountain of just garbage that is going on right now and not see the things that we can be thankful for.
Oh, this makes me want to get into so many things they talked about. But okay, first, format of the show. He gets an expert in a field that's kind of related tangentially. Not every single person is about meditation, but it's about things that are uplifting. It's about things that will make your life better, will help you refine yourself into a more positive person. And so I think she's just an expert in essentially gratefulness.
Dara Williams is a trainer, meditation teacher, and psychotherapist.
Oh, okay.
She's been a meditator for the past 25 years and is a practitioner of both. I don't want to say that
Nope.
wrong.
Oh,
Different
yeah.
types of meditation. And she's a graduate of the Spirit Rock Insight Meditation Society teacher training program and is a guide teacher of IMS. I don't know what that is.
So she is also an expert meditator.
She's an expert meditator.
But essentially, she has a lot of insight into this specifically. So she kind of starts out by talking about exactly what you're talking about, Kirk, and something that I think would be a fun thing for us to hold each other accountable on and to do. And maybe like we'll check in next week. We'll check in way before that, but we'll keep on it essentially. And because she even says stuff like small things, like you wake up and you're like, I am alive. I'm awake. Here I am. And then she would like go through her entire morning, and you can really hear like the mindfulness in how she was talking, because she's like, I'd wake up and then there was my husband and then there was my cat. And then I put my feet on the floor and then I was thankful for the hot water. It was really that kind of thing where every moment she was able to kind of soak in the good parts of each moment. And so that's an easy thing to do, to just be grateful for little things in the morning when you wake up. And so I think that'd be a fun thing for us to hold each other accountable to, and to do, and see how we feel after doing it for a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. Don't forget, on Monday, you'd be like, hey, Kurt, what are you thankful for right now? What are you grateful for? And I'll tell you.
What are you thankful for right now?
I like the lighting in this room. It
You know
looks
what?
cool.
No judgment. Yeah. No, it's just if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. I'm thankful this has been we're at almost a year of doing kind of the live stream side of things. And it's
Is it?
been
No,
I thought we started it in January.
you're
Wasn't that our
right.
plan?
You're right. It was when Josh quit
Well,
or left,
we were
or
recording them differently, and I think we were
yeah,
doing like YouTube
we were just
mostly.
starting it.
Yeah,
But
we were just starting, but this started the premise of it started a year ago, and it's been really fun. We've met cool people. It's been a really fun thing. So I'm grateful for that.
I'm grateful for that as well. Yeah, I think we've made a lot of friends lately. That's been, internet friends that have been good and helpful and healthy during this time of being
Yeah.
all alone all the time.
Yeah, it has been great to have an online community when everything's kind of weird to go out.
Yeah.
But they kind of go from there to one of the most interesting parts of this to me was them talking about not just gratefulness, but the suffering side of life. The exploring and almost not judging or not being critical of the suffering because it's just a part of life, just like joy or gratitude is. It's a part of it, and not only is it a part of it, it makes the joy stronger, because and one of her premises was you can't really have true joy if you haven't experienced what suffering is. And I think that's a really cool way to look at things, because then you don't see suffering as like, oh, woe is me. And that leads me to the other thing that I loved in this, and they called it the story of the two arrows.
Oh man, that
what it was called?
That was good.
So paraphrased, check out the episode if this is at all interesting to you. They do get into stuff that's like extremely deep into, I guess, is it Buddhism? I don't know.
It's Buddhism.
But
yeah,
they get into stuff that's
so.
very core principles there that I wasn't familiar with. So I think that if you are familiar with that, you can get even more out of the conversation, but not that you can't
say,
otherwise.
Like you're mentioning, there was some verbiage and things that they said that I kind of went over my head, just kind of almost like shop talk that I didn't understand. I think we kind of talked about that off mic as well. It's like there was just a lot of things that they talked about that I kind of wish that I knew a little bit more about going into the episode. But it was very interesting. It makes me want to learn more about some of the stuff. And it's going to be, there's some really cool principles.
Yeah, it does really make you want to learn more about some of this. So the paraphrased, the two arrow story is there's this hunter, and he's walking around and he gets shot with an arrow, and he is kind of going through this whole internal monologue of, why am I always the one who gets shot with the arrow? Why is this happening to me? Why couldn't it have happened to somebody else? This is so unfair.
Now I'm going to be late for dinner,
And that is the second arrow. So the second arrow is self-inflicted, living in something that was outside of his control. And so that I was like, okay, that's a principle that I can get behind. Like that one will cut deep, because everybody's been there. It's so easy to say like, why me, or like to almost dwell on or not be able to move past the bad things that happen, when really it's you're hurting yourself worse by living in that moment.
I have always had an issue with this, and I know it's an internal monologue type issue. Dude, I've had days where like 7 or 8 small things will happen before I like even get to work, and then I'm just frustrated all day long.
It gets me too, where it builds
up. It's like
up
a bunch of little things, and if any of those little things were to happen by themselves without a bunch of other things at the same time, you'd be like, that's stupid, I don't care, just keep going. But if it's like a domino effect of them, I will just be like, oh god, I just want today to be over, and it's 8 a.m. already.
Yeah,
it's like
yes.
So I'm really bad at the second arrow, self-inflicting that exact thing where something happened that was out of my control. Let's say you have a flat tire on your way to work, your day's gonna suck. I mean, my day would suck.
No, I'd have to fight through it.
It would get in my head. I'd be mad. I'd be frustrated. I'd be dirty, and I'd just be like, oh, flat tire made me have a bad day. Blah blah blah. It's not a big deal, but I've self-inflicted things to be much worse than
Oh
it
yeah,
has
me
to be.
too. No, what I've like, and you've experienced this a little bit, is what I've started doing is trying to reset it. So like if I've had a really rough morning, I'll try and do something midday to try and reset, like something fun, like something goofy, reset a little bit, But
And you've
yeah,
been good at helping me do that too, because you're like, Kirk is spiraling really bad. We need to go to lunch somewhere and have a nice lunch or something.
no, my favorite was canceling a conference call we had.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
was,
we're not going to make that today. Sorry about
I was,
that.
I was so mad that day, and you're like, yeah, we should probably not do that conference call.
It
I'm gonna
wasn't good
figure it
for
out.
anyone anyways, so
It wasn't. It
we
wasn't. But
bailed on it.
but luckily, I'm saying I appreciate that. That I'm grateful that you helped me come back from the edge a lot of times when I just am like, oh, so done with it. But I do need to work on that. We need to work on it,
Yeah.
and we can. And there are actual steps to doing that, and it's not something that's not doable. We can do that. We can be better. We can
Yeah.
better ourselves in this way. And I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like it's got to come with discipline.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing to put into practice long enough that becomes a habit.
Yeah.
That's the
No,
thing.
and
I've
it's
done a lot of this kind of stuff for short spurts.
yeah.
It is difficult to continue to do it on a regular basis.
It really is. And yeah, we talked a little bit about like habit forming last week, and it's just trying to tie it to something. So I think I'm going to do the first thing when I wake up, and just try and, or she talked about like you could put a 3x5 card on your mirror to help like remind you, but eventually you don't need the card,
I'm too sleepy in the morning. I can't read. I can't read till at least 9 a.m.
You can't read till 9 a.m. Kirk is blowing through stop signs. He's like, where am I? I'm so confused.
I usually don't wake up till I get to work.
Yeah, no, but it's a really cool premise, and also one of my favorite things about this podcast is that it immediately made us think like this. It's I've listened to quite a few kind of they probably put this in like a self-help category. It's kind of similar to some of those things where it's trying to like kind of do something beneficial to yourself, but a lot of them they just don't like kind of resonate with me. But I feel like this one, there was like some kind of higher level conversation. But honestly, once you figure out what they're talking about, like, because they'll throw out words like, what was yours? Vasectitudes?
Equanimity? Oh, no,
Equanimity,
yeah.
too.
Oh, you're right. But vicissitudes.
Vicissitudes. But in equanimity is just like balance. It's finding like mental balance.
Yeah, I had no idea.
So when they're talking about like how to find equanimity, you're like, oh, okay,
It's like
that's
mental
cool.
calmness, right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's just trying to be level mentally. So there's a lot of really cool premises that they go over here, and it's all very
Speaking
genuine.
of that, they mentioned it's like these virtues or something. It's a Buddhist thing. But here's the thing, I want to take that term out in a sense because it doesn't have to be a religious thing. This is a thing that anybody can practice, and it could be something that's beneficial. If anybody practiced these 4 principles, your life will be better. All of us, the rest of the world will be better.
No,
if everyone did this,
if everyone practiced it,
this would
it'd be
change
great.
the freaking world.
Yeah.
The first one is loving kindness and benevolence. Okay, yeah, let's
Sign
do
me
a
up.
little bit
Sounds
more
good.
of that. Compassion. Hey, that's something everyone's been lacking a little bit lately. Empathetic joy. Not just joy, but empathetic joy. Oh,
Sharing joy. It's good stuff.
And
It's great wording.
Which has to do with, like mental calmness and just kind of being in control of your mind and stuff like that. God, like, I'm sorry, I'm not a Buddhist, but this is spot on.
Yeah.
And
No, I can go for all of those
I
principles.
need all of these things right now.
Yeah. And so it really does, like, I felt like, and it wasn't that they were talking like down at all. It was just I felt out of my depth because they were talking about things that were interesting and I just didn't know all the wording for. But then since we've looked them up, it really, if you're at all into this, you can definitely gain a lot. If you're at all familiar with like some of the Buddhist principles and things like that, you're going to gain a lot from this conversation because they talk about things very in depth. But if you're not, like me and Kirk weren't, we still gained a ton from this. Like, we honestly had to just kind of stop talking about it because we were talking about it so much that we're like, well, we need to talk about this in a little bit and record it. So let's just wait. So it really did kind of spark an interest in us talking about it. And obviously it sounds great and everything like that. The principle of it's great. The Dan Harris's story that's turned into him out there trying to make other people's lives 10% happier after what happened with him, that's also great. You know, I thoroughly enjoyed the experience on this one.
More than anything, like, doesn't matter when this comes out or when you're listening to this, we wanted to talk about this specific episode and recommend this show because we know that there's a lot of people suffering right now just because there's so many different things going on. And if we can just make your life just 10% better because of a recommendation that we made, then that is great.
Yeah.
It makes everything worthwhile. And if we can make our own lives 10% better by listening to this podcast and learning from the principles and actually putting into practice some of them, I mean, it could change, a lot of things.
Yeah.
It could at least change our mindsets, make us get through some of this stuff a little bit more healthfully.
Yeah.
Rather than having to self-medicate, rather than having to, turn to other things and distractions and stuff like that to just try to get through it. We can actually get through it while focusing on things that we can be grateful for. That's the thing. She mentioned that as well, is like, gratefulness isn't like to hide from the bull crap that's going on all the time at all times. It's to help you refocus and kind of get back centered.
Yeah, she called it like taking a shower.
Yeah, things aren't freaking like unicorns and rainbows all the time, but things aren't as bad as they usually feel in your mind most of the time either. So if you can bring yourself back to gratefulness, and you'll probably be somewhere in the middle most of the time, and you can get through these really rough patches and push through and become a better person. I don't know. It made me think a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
That's a sign of a good show to me, honestly.
Yeah.
I like it when you have a lot to think about, a lot to talk about afterwards. Makes it fun.
I know, it was great.
Also, I'll tell you another one of our secrets for being 10% happier. We watched the Great British Baking Show. It is very relaxing. If anybody's feeling bummed out and just needs a little palate cleanse media, it's a great show. It's going on right now.
That show has changed my life. It's so good. It's amazing. Like, it's just so good. It's so wholesome. It's like the most wholesome show I've ever seen.
Yeah, me too. And it really does make me hate American reality TV.
It's so bad.
Because, like, why is there so, like, everybody's so nice and they all, like, care about each other?
Like, okay, I could be wrong, but I think we've talked about this before. What did they win? What do they win, Zach? Did they win $5 million?
No, they win a cake plate.
See, they're not freaking competing for, like, life-changing, or at least in their mind, life-changing money that's going to, like, help them. And they're not going to get an interview. They usually
get moderately famous. A lot of them, like, will write, like, a cookbook afterwards. It's that type of thing, though. They win a cake platter that says Great British Baking Show on it.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, it's not, like, tied to money where then people are getting greedy and trying to, backstab each other. And it's not about the drama. It's about just baking. And I swear, every single season, everybody loves each other. Yep. Someone gets kicked off and everyone's crying.
Everyone's crying. Yep.
And everyone's happy when the person gets, like, star baker. And it's such a good show.
It's very wholesome. So if you need a TV show, it's very wholesome. It's on Netflix. New episodes are coming out right now. We are not sponsored by, obviously. We'd be killing it, but no, it's just we a lot of times we'll use that if we're like,
we watched it today, and now Zach is gonna go spend $500 on stuff to be able to make ice cream cakes.
No, not that, not that for sure.
And I'm not gonna complain.
Okay, so Kirk is trying to Jedi mind trick me into spending $500 to make him an ice cream cake. So
yes.
I'm going to have to process that and figure out what to do with that information.
Those ice cream cakes are bomb.
But yeah, 10% happier. Great show. Definitely check it out. It really was very uplifting.
The first episode of that show, he interviews the Dalai Lama. Like, what the freaking heck? I
I
mean, I
mean,
guess that's what happens when you come from, being
yeah,
a
you work at
reporter.
ABC. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like around and have interviewed people for a long time. But yeah, I think
This
ABC still sponsors the show. I think there was an ad for ABC like during the episode. So that's
really,
that's kind of a cool thing. It's a cool thing that they have embraced his destiny.
but they've got a lot of. He interviews so many people. Some just like regular people, some celebrities, a lot of experts when it comes to, you know, meditation and stuff like that. I'm looking at some of these. There's so many. I mean, what episode do we recommend? Like 200 and something?
Yeah, it was like 260,
Almost
right?
300.
Yeah.
Yeah, 295. That's what we recommended. 295.
Yeah, he's been putting out a lot of content. So there's a lot of stuff to listen through if you want to learn some more about this. And it was very uplifting to listen to. It was a good time.
The episode before this, Vitamin E, how to cultivate equanimity amidst political chaos. How about that one, guys?
I saw that, thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I feel like people need a brain break from it. We're all getting it every direction, full throttle right now.
But it's, I don't know. It is a good show. It was a great show.
Yeah, really good. So that brings us to our recommendation for next week. And this show is called You're Wrong About.
No, you're wrong.
I guess it's not a sentence really because it's completed by the episode. The episode we're doing is You're Wrong About Coco the Gorilla. So I never really was that aware, but I did see Coco with Robin Williams. And so seeing her like use sign language and be very strangely like human and like intelligent and aware, that I saw there was an episode about Coco and I was like, let's go. But each episode they try to it's two reporters that try to break down common misconceptions and bring more detail about things that you think you know but you're wrong about.
I'm trying to look something up. Wasn't there a gorilla movie with Whoopi Goldberg?
What, a gorilla movie with Whoopi Goldberg?
Yeah. Like when we were kids. I'm looking it up. This isn't an edit at all, guys. I could be wrong. What was that one movie? Dunstan Checks In or whatever?
Dunstan checks in.
That was just a monkey though,
Yeah, I
right?
think that was a chimp, but that was Jason Alexander, not Whoopi Goldberg, right?
I don't remember. That's not it. Okay. I could be wrong. I got us completely sidetracked.
I mean,
realized that. Sorry, I got.
If that's a Mandela effect, I don't even know. That's a wild one.
I'm just in the Matrix, guys. I'm sorry. I swear. I'm gonna look it up. Now I'm thinking. Okay, I gotta look it up. There was a gorilla.
There
And
was
it
a
was
gorilla.
Coco.
Okay.
And it could like sign language and stuff. Dang it. See, now I'm deep down the rabbit hole. Oh shoot.
Should I just like wrap this without you while you're looking up Whoopi Goldberg and gorillas in Google?
I have to find it. No. I have to find this now. Dang it. Her IMDb's so long, I'm never going to be able to find it that way. All right, never mind. I'll have to do it off.
We'll record something for you so you can put it at the end. There is a movie with Whoopi Goldberg and a gorilla.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Well, I guess that's everything for next week. And remember,
There's always more to discover.
all right, let me end this. Let me see if it wrecks everything.
This is where it wrecked last time, right?
I think so. All right, we got tracks. No, I think where it wrecked itself was when I made a new recording. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick 3-minute break. Oh, first we'll stretch. Stretch, Kirk.
Okay, no, let's do this together. Okay, okay. Stretch to the left. Stretch to the right. Stretch to the middle.
Stretch to the middle.
Okay.
Hi, Twigs.
Let's I need to go pour my glass of wine.
Oh, I
Zach,
need
you
to pour
do
my
the same.
glass of wine.
I couldn't
Look, I
pour
got one
mine
right
earlier.
here.
I did not grope the sphere.
I did grope the sphere like this. And I mean, groping is extreme. I put my hand on it.
Okay, your camera's different. That's what's going on. I can't see that side because you have a different
No,
camera
you cannot
for me.
see. Yeah, you cannot see that.
You groped the sphere.
And I still feel like grope is too strong.
No, he did it. He groped the sphere.
But yeah, Twigs. I got this right here. It's called Locations Wine, and this one's from California.
I got White Zinfandel.
Nice.
Publix.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a random red blend.
So, if you have to chill your wine really quick, what do you do, Zach? I got a little like.
I get better wine and don't chill it.
Damn it! Shut up. I don't like warm drinks. I like hot drinks or cold drinks. I don't like warm drinks. That's gross. I need chilled wine or hot tea. Anyway, I put it in the freezer to chill it quickly, and then it was then it became an icy. So I couldn't pour it because it was too hard. And no shame in that game. I thought I was the only one that ever put ice in their wine because I like it cold.
I'm mostly just messing with Kirk. I don't really like anybody can do whatever they want, but don't tell that to a sommelier; they will freak out.
No, I ain't scared.
I mean, yeah, you don't really need to be scared. I don't think they're gonna attack you. They're just gonna be like, "That's disgusting, putting your sink water in that wine."
Drink, dude, get over it.
No, but people do the same thing with whiskey, though.
I don't care about that either. People get over it. Now, I probably wouldn't do that to Pappy Van Winkle.
Yeah. No, I definitely wouldn't do that. If I'm paying $1 billion per shot. But yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to get our wines ready. And we are then going to try and switch over this thing so everybody doesn't have to watch the shenanigans while we try and get it switched over.
Are you opening the wine right now?
Yeah.
I don't. You had it next to you with the wine opener?
I just have this wine opener. It looks like a knife. It looks like a pocket knife.
I can't see it. Pull it more this way.
Looks
the
like
other way.
Here, watch the stream. I'll show you how it works. It's dope.
It's fancy. That's a fancy one. It's probably the opposite of fancy, but
costs $8.
I've got the one that looks like the little guy with his arms up.
This thing,
pull his arms down and it opens it.
Yeah. No, this one, you do like this, and it's got these two little like gaps on here, and you push it in, and then you just like pop this thing like that. Boop.
Oh yeah. That's like the old school one.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'm gonna go get mine. Oh, I'm gonna open it on stream.
All right, yeah. We're gonna go. Oh wait, Kirk's gonna open it on stream. All right, he's gonna show us how his works too. But yeah, no, I got this thing real cheap. It was on sale on Woot, so I just grabbed one. But yeah, it's not like a big thing to store anywhere. And I brought it in because I had wine for Twig celebration. A convenient stretch grope. I don't like the naming of that either. It was more I thought I was going to knock that thing over because I was just stretching and I felt it and I was afraid I was going to knock it. So then I reached back to make sure it was okay. It was fine. I do wish I could figure out how to turn on. Wait, does yours have a twist lid? You can't hear.
What?
I asked if you had a twist top on that thing.
No. I almost got it in a box, but no.
I've heard that Boda box is pretty good.
Gallo family. I don't know what that means. But Gallo is Mexican, so it has to be good. Anyway, trick to chilling things quickly, and this goes for any type of drink.
Liquid nitrogen.
That's it. That's the trick. That's the life hack, guys. Go buy some liquid nitrogen. No, get some paper towels, get them wet, put them around the bottle, and then stick it in the freezer. It chills it so fast. It really works. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's what. Wait, is it still an icy?
It's not an icy anymore. Anyway, this is the kind of wine opener I have. It's the one that has a little guy.
Oh, yeah.
And like, so excited, and then you make him sad. You're like, yeah. Yeah, so he's a little happy guy.
But everybody, we hope you all go grab a bottle of wine too.
Everyone go
And join us. We are celebrating Twigsley doing awesome things.
See, look, he's getting excited. His arms are going up. See? He's happy for everyone. He's happy. And I gotta make him sad. Woo. Alright, I did it.
There he goes. Now we're ready.
That's how you open wine.
Hope you enjoyed us both opening bottles of wine on stream. I've heard it's the best way to pick up new viewers.
I'm putting it in my chilled whiskey glass.
Nice. Okay, everybody. We're going to take about a 3-minute break. We're going to try and get everything set up so there's no technical difficulties this time. And we're going to be right back. Thanks so much for hanging out. We appreciate it. jamming to Mr. Billy Mays. Sorry, we're going to have to cut it off, everybody. We're coming back. We're coming back. Here we go. Here we are. Hi, everybody. We're back.
Just put that in the background. She's so sad. She's so mad at us now.
I'll have to...
White Zinfandel reminds me of getting wrecked at weddings.
Okay. I need to pour
it's good.
my glass.
It's good memories, I guess.
Yeah, that's definitely a good memory.
I mean, it wasn't my wedding, so...
It wasn't my wedding. I wasn't drunk at my own wedding.
I was 20 when I got married.
Couldn't even drink at my own wedding.
Couldn't even drink at my own wedding. You went to Napa?
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
Dude, I went to California. I swear I was like Leah's age, which is like 11, with my mom. And we went on like a wine tasting trip. Dude, I tasted every single one of those wines, and I was like 11.
Kirk got smashed. He was 11 just getting turned in California.
Heck yes. I didn't like any of it. No appreciation for it.
Yeah, no, I could see that. It's a taste that kids probably don't like too much, which is good. That's good, I guess. If
that was definitely a family thing. Is like that was a thing you would do at a party. Is like, oh hey, little Chino wants to try the beer, and he's only 3 years old. We'll let him try it, and he tries it. He's like, oh, that's so gross. He's like, yeah, see, you never want to drink that again. And they never asked for it again. Except for I had one cousin. It was David. When he was like 2 years old, I don't even think he could barely talk. They let him try the beer, and he loved it, and he wanted to keep drinking it. And they're like, well, this backfired. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always the risk you take, I guess.
Because it was always like you let them take the tiniest baby sip, and then they're gonna never want to try it again. Cool story, bro. Now I feel bad.
Twigs has one glass of wine, and she got to roast you on the stream.
Oh.
All right, so yeah, we're the Podcast Discovery Show, and now we're going to record the other Discovery Show. We just talked about our podcast for the week, and now we're going to talk about a bunch of random other stuff that we discovered throughout the week.
Wait till you get to the end of this episode. We have our favorite mascot. It's our new mascot for the podcast, actually. Right, Zach? You found our new mascot. Why are you giving me the weird look?
No.
I've seen that look so many times. Like, Kirk, shut the freak up.
No, I'm messing with you. He could be our mascot if you want.
Sure.
I'm gonna make a hat with him on it just for you.
Oh, good. Make a hat out of him.
It's gonna be a beanie.
You'll see. A beanie. Oh, I can't. I can't. Okay. You'll see when we get to it. It's ridiculous. All right, let's jump into the show. Ah,
Wait, am I first?
yes.
Okay.
Deep fake. Welcome to the Other Discovery Show, the podcast that's not about podcasts. It's the bonus show from the Podcast Discovery Show, and it's about all the other things we discovered throughout the week. I'm Kirk.
And I am Zach. And this week I discovered more about deep fakes. Have you seen any deep fakes?
Yes, they're disturbing because they really look real.
They've gotten
Some of them.
pretty good. Not all of them, but they've gotten pretty good. Because I definitely saw on Reddit there was a whole thing of deep faking random people into what's his name? The main bad guy from The Boys, Highlander? No, Homelander.
Homelander.
So they made Chris
yeah.
Evans as Homelander and like Henry Cavill. So they were just like putting random faces on there. They look pretty cool, but it made me.
What do they use to do that? Like, is it a specific program?
I think so. I think it's a
Okay.
specific program because
I've never looked into it. I was always curious.
no, but it's a whole thing. Okay, so basically, we started to see where this can be a problem now, because one report. In March 2019, the CEO of a UK-based energy firm listened over the phone as his boss, the leader of the firm's German parent company, ordered the transfer of €220,000 to a supplier in Hungary. News reports would later detail that the CEO recognized the slight German accent and the melody of his chief's voice and followed the order to transfer the money, equivalent to about $250,000, within an hour. And they kept trying to do it. They later found out that is a deep fake of his voice. And they were...
A deep fake of a voice?
Yes. So basically, deep fake is wider than kind of just that video thing. And it's been happening for a long time because it also kind of plays into like photoshopping and things like that, because like apparently ancient Romans used to like delete person's identity and history by just chiseling stuff off of the stone, so this has always been like a thing, but now we have new technology and new ways of doing this. And Stalin would use like very early photoshopping to make his pictures all look a certain way and things like that.
Really?
Yeah. And so then you get to deep fakes, and apparently deep fake was coined by a Redditor in 2017 who was named Deepfake, and he created a space that was for porn that would use face swapping technology. So I guess you could watch Stalin in a porn. I don't think that's an actual. I don't think it's an actual
That's
example.
What I've been waiting for my whole life.
But basically, they started kind of going through all of this, and then now they've gotten a lot better. So there's definitely deep fakes of voices. So you can like manipulate. There's an entire one of President Trump saying ridiculous stuff. There was one of Zuckerberg.
Are you sure that's a deep fake?
Yes. It's it's ridiculous. I'm not going to link it. You can look it up if you want to. It's something. But then basically they started taking political leaders, and once you have enough of them talking, you can make them say kind of whatever. So they essentially will put together entire sentences and put together entire speeches of random garbage just to do that. And so it's starting to be a real issue, because also
I feel like the voice one might be easier actually than the visual one.
Yeah, it's probably a lot easier to do.
With technology nowadays, especially somebody that's in the public eye that's done a lot of speeches or something like that, you get them saying a bunch of words, you can have them say whatever the freak you want.
Yeah, you really can.
Like with computer programs and stuff. That's
And that's one thing.
I hadn't never actually thought about the audio version of this.
But yeah, there's definitely like a lot of this stuff, and some of the issues that we're running into is people are using this to create fake videos that they're passing off as real. And so then you're starting to run into, okay, so this is terrifying. They can make any video, because for how long now? Video is like the proof. You know, if you have committed a crime and they have you on video doing it, they're like, okay, done. But what happens when that is no longer reliable? What happens if they
Picture's worth
could?
1,000 words,
Yeah, what
and a
happens if they
video is
could
worth
put
a
your
million.
face on it?
I just made that up.
You just made up that saying? That's pretty
Mhm.
amazing. That feels like I've heard it before.
The video is worth a million?
Oh no, I haven't heard the
I
video is
added
worth
the
a
end
million
part.
part.
I
Oh
knew they
okay.
didn't have the front part.
Oh okay, gotcha.
I am a genius.
Okay. But yeah, once you start thinking like, okay, how could people misuse this to push a false narrative or to do whatever or to incriminate someone or get somebody freed from
Yeah.
something by just
Mm-hmm.
making this up. And so this is actually what I kind of discovered that made me go down this is Microsoft has announced that they have a new tool that is literally just to combat fake videos, disinformation, and deep faking. And so what they've done is they've built an algorithm that can kind of track and find the issues in it because it's not perfect. It's good enough to trick us, but that doesn't mean it's perfect in its actual file. You know, the actual video itself, if they look at it, they can see the things that we can't. But yeah, Microsoft has announced Microsoft Video Authenticator. It can analyze a still photo or a video to provide a percentage chance or confidence score that it's artificially manipulated. In the case of a video, it can provide this percentage in real time on each frame as the video plays. It works by detecting the blending boundary of the deepfake and subtle fading or grayscale elements that may not be detectable by the human eye. So it's literally looking for those very small editing things that people are doing in these programs that we can't see but a computer can track. And so they've developed this in the Microsoft research and AI team, and now they're starting to test it, you know, and they were using it. They built it off a public data set, and it was tested there was a challenge, and both of these it was pretty successful. So there are options coming, but it's just crazy to think about. This is going to be the next generation of all disinformation is completely faked videos.
It's just what we need. Just what we
yeah,
need.
and if we can't find a way to track and to tell when they're fake, what's gonna happen? Like we got to
I'm
figure
glad that
out.
we're at least thinking forward to be like, oh, this is how we're gonna have to combat this fake stuff that's
That
gonna be
is why I
coming.
like this article as well, because at least somebody is thinking like, we should probably try and figure out some way to find out if that's fake.
Yeah. So I discovered something that it's gonna be great for this, and it's also gonna be great for our other little show, Ag Lab. It's about drones that this company is using to plant trees. Not only just a few trees, they're using these drones, and they are DJI. They're the same similar drones that we have. They're the bigger versions of them, but drones are awesome, by the way. They're really cool. They're fun to fly. But this thing can plant 40,000 trees in a month, and by 2028, they'll have planted 1 billion trees. Is the title of the article. So there's a Canadian company that has, it's called Flash Forest. It's a Canadian startup that uses its technology to plant 40,000 trees in an area just this month. Just this month, it's going to plant 40,000 trees.
That is pretty ridiculous.
By the end of the year, it plans to expand to other regions and will plant hundreds of thousands of trees. By 2028, the startup aims to have planted 1 billion trees. But it's crazy because they talk about, you know, how many more trees can be planted with a drone flown by one person as opposed to, you know, one person planting trees. So there's a few quotes in here I want to mention. There's a lot of different attempts to tackle reforestation, but despite all of them, they're still failing with a net loss of 7 billion trees per year. That's a lot of trees, guys. That's a lot of trees.
That is a lot of
by.
trees.
Dang it. It's got a hiccup. I'm going to get called out on that one probably. 13. Yep, there it was. Hey, I don't hiccup often, but when I do, it's powerful. uh, so the company aims to bring the cost down from 50 cent per tree to around a fourth of the cost, which that's not bad, dude. Like
That's cheap tree.
but I guess if you're talking about billions of them, it's a
Yeah, it
lot.
gets fairly expensive
It gets expensive
at
quick, I
scale.
guess. But let's see where it talks about how many trees that it can plant, because I thought that was fascinating. So they're going. They're currently planting near Toronto and other British Columbia areas, but they are beginning a restoration process in Hawaii later in the year, and they plan to plant 300,000 trees there. It's also planting trees in Australia, Colombia, and Malaysia. It's a great. I think it's a great concept, a great thing, because specifically in Canada where they're planting, it just got ravaged by forest fires. So like hundreds of acres just got destroyed. Like it takes so long for a tree to grow to the height that they need, because they're talking a lot in this article about carbon sequestering and stuff like that. And for a tree to actually sequester a lot of carbon, it has to be almost full grown, which takes like 8 years or something. Um, but I don't know. It's a really fascinating article, a really fascinating company, and I think that it's really cool. And they have like a lot of photos. They actually have a video as well of the drones and stuff. And it's just, I don't know. I love agriculture, and I guess this is agriculture in a way. It's
Yeah,
almost like more of a ecology and um what do you call it?
like conservationism.
Conservation. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
But no, it's a great story, and it's definitely worth a read.
yeah. No, I mean it's a great thing to find new ways to just be planting trees all the time. So,
Although they talk a lot about the carbon sequestering or whatever, and I think that someone needs to focus a little more on algae, because now that we know how much algae can do some stuff, uh,
yeah,
I
no, I
feel
mean
like
some people
they need
are.
to
You
focus
know,
a
like
little bit
those people
more.
that were doing the air purifiers that were essentially a bioreactor. They were just a carbon sink that you could like put in a building. But yeah, no, there really probably is options for using algae in some way.
My stepdad, he has someone in his family that does that. They are doing that throughout Mexico. They're
Really?
making algae filtration, like air filtration
Hmm.
for. And I will say, I've been to Mexico and some of the city areas, and it's bad, because there's like using really old cars in some places, like old cars, like crappy motorcycles and stuff to get around, and it's it smells gross. It's just all exhaust, and it's just, you can feel it. It's bad. So I can imagine that it's useful in, like, Mexico City. I wasn't even talking about Mexico City. I've been to other places that weren't that bad, but it's fascinating.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to see how people are trying to basically to see how people are trying to use drones for one, because everybody's trying to figure out anything they can do with them. So that's a cool thing, but yeah, trying to figure out how to offset some of our impact on the planet is a cool thing. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention before, linked in the show notes is going to be a deepfake quiz that Microsoft put out where you try
What?
to guess what the deepfake is or not.
Oh God.
So that'll be there. You can check your internet literacy, maybe your critical thinking on videos, and you can start to see the problem that's happening. So definitely check that out.
Have you done it yet?
I have not.
I'm curious how well or how bad we do on it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure. It'll be around. So I discovered the new Raspberry Pi computer. Did you see this?
I did
Do
not.
you know what
I did
Raspberry
not see
Pi
that.
is?
I mean,
Vaguely?
vaguely. Yeah.
Okay. Raspberry Pi
Josh used to
Foundation.
talk about it every 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome. So Raspberry Pi Foundation is a charity that was founded in 2009 to promote the study of computer science in schools. and they built what is called the Raspberry Pi, and it is literally a single board computer. And it started out, it's basically like, I'm trying to think what's about that size. Like, I don't know, just like a 2x3
Yeah,
block.
no, I've
And
seen them.
they've gotten more and more sophisticated constantly, but they literally start at $50 for a computer, and you can do all kinds of stuff with it. People have done amazing things with Raspberry Pis. You can do whatever you want. People program it so they can run robots and everything. But literally, it just came from this place that wanted to help people have people doing cool projects, because you can use it on robotics and you can just try different things on it. People use it for all kinds of like portable whatever. And essentially, their new one takes out all of the clunkiness of having to kind of like figure out how to mount it and everything. It literally is a keyboard. It looks like a keyboard, but inside the keyboard is a Raspberry Pi, and a not very bad one either. Like, it's pretty good. You can get it up to 8 gigs of RAM. That's much better than many of the computers I've had in my life.
That
And
just looks like a keyboard.
yeah, you literally just it's just a keyboard.
It's just a keyboard, and you plug it into a.
You
monitor,
plug it into a
right?
mouse. You plug it into a monitor. It's got a 64-bit processor. It's got up to 8 gigs of RAM. It's got wireless, 4K video playback.
That's
got
fascinating.
$70.
Can you play Overwatch on it?
No, probably not.
I don't want it. Get this out of my
No,
face.
but like think about it as like a media center.
I'm just kidding.
No,
It's great. It's no, for real. It's really cool. I wish I knew stuff about coding. I wish that we were born like just a few years later, and we could really do some really fascinating stuff.
I mean, I totally agree with you, but Raspberry Pi makes it pretty easy to do that. Like,
you say that, but
no, there's tons of resources. What I'm saying, not that like you wouldn't have to learn something, but just it gives you a lot of resources for essentially doing a project. One of the things I always thought would be cool to do for a Raspberry Pi, well, like Media Center obviously would be cool, but I always thought it would be cool to have like a smart calendar that's just kind of like on, and it's just like connected to like maybe my Google Calendar. I get like a screen, and that it'd probably be like $100, and I should have like a smart calendar that like I could program to do what it's going to do. So you just think of some like cool project that you want to do, and you can do it with a Raspberry Pi because you can just mount it. It's really small, and you can kind of just try it out. But no, I just thought it was cool. I like the kind of the mission statement of Raspberry Pi, and I like the new tech they have, and I wanna buy one of these keyboard things.
No, that's fascinating. And now I want to learn how to do something with it. So, Zach, have you ever gone and either visited a friend or gone to a hotel or something, and you go to sleep and you wake up and you're like, God, I slept for hours, like a regular amount of time, but I don't feel that rested?
Like staying at someone else's house?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like
no,
somewhere not
I
like
very rarely sleep well.
Somewhere not very you're not super familiar with.
It always messes me up. It takes me like 3 days to get used to like sleeping
So
there.
I found this NPR article that actually explains why. So apparently they've done a bunch of studies, and half of your brain stays awake and stands guard when you're sleeping in a new place that you're not familiar with. I thought it was I mean, it seems like duh, that makes sense. But in this article, it's great. It's just such a good article about sleeping in unfamiliar surroundings. It's great. See, it says only half of your brain is getting a good night's rest when you're somewhere that you're not familiar with. The left side seems to be more awake than the right side, says this doctor that they're quoting, an associated professor of cognitive linguistics and psychology science at Brown University. So sleep researchers discovered the first night effect. That's what they call it, the first night effect. So the first night in somewhere that you're not familiar with. They discovered it decades ago when they began studying people in sleep labs. The first night in a lab, a person's sleep is usually so bad that researchers simply toss out the data that they collected. which I've always wondered about that. Like,
I mean,
if you
I
were to go
always
get a
feel it
sleep,
for sure.
I've thought that before. We're like, man, I would like to have a sleep study and, I don't know, learn something about how I sleep. But in my head, I'm like, I wouldn't sleep good probably. And apparently, no one does. And they literally toss out that data half the time because they're like, there's no way this is what the person normally sleeps like. Um, but they did a bunch of studies and they actually like woke people up with sounds, but on different sides of their head, like the different brain, left side, right side, whatever. Um, and it was really fascinating. It says first they had the sleeping student listen to a repeated standard tone followed by a single tone of a different pitch. When someone is awake or lightly sleeping, the brain responds to this deviant tone, and the student's brain did respond, but
Hmm.
only on the left side. So apparently, only your left side stays awake, which is I don't know, man. We
Why
don't
does
know
that
anything
happen?
about the brain. It's
That's
it's
so weird.
fascinating. It's so weird. Then the researchers played a sound loud enough to wake someone who was sleeping up lightly, or who was sleeping lightly up, and they found that students woke up faster when the sound was played into the right ear, when it is connected to the left side of which is connected to the left side of the brain. Which that's another thing is your
Yeah,
right ear is
it's
connected to your
switching.
left side. It's the opposite, whatever. Um, it's a really interesting study. We've known for quite a while that some marine mammals, like dolphins and some of the seals, as well as many birds, can sleep with one half of the brain at a time. Uh, and they're saying that basically, in a lot of senses, we do that as well. And I don't know. It made so much sense to me because
Is
there's been so
there
many times that I've even gone to like hotels and like I feel like I slept, 10 hours, which is longer than I normally sleep at home. And I'm like, how am I more tired than when I sleep at home?
do they have any like advice for making it not that way, or is it literally just you sleep in an unfamiliar environment, you're not going to sleep well the first night?
It says when we're asleep in a new environment and we don't know how many predators are around, it would make more sense to keep half of the brain more alert and more responsive to bumps in the night. They don't have any like tips or tricks. It's just a scientific
It's
article
just our
essentially.
it's just our animal brain going crazy like you don't know what's
It
out there.
and
It's
it,
like I'm
it's
in a
also true
hotel. Help me
in
out,
that as
brain.
well, because like I swear I hear every single noise when I'm at a hotel, every
Yes.
single drunk teenager that's walking to their freaking room at 6 a.m. in the morning, and ah, I it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I do think that I read somewhere that like the noise thing is your brain does like pick them up, but it only looks for ones that are abnormal. So if it's like normal, like your air conditioning kicking on, the train going by your house, your kids, your area, that's one thing. But then if you hear anything that's not normal, that wakes you up.
And that's
So
probably why like noise machines really work with a lot of people, because if you train your brain to hear that noise all the time, and if you go to somewhere unfamiliar and you play that as just like a white noise, I'm sure that it helps you sleep a
there's
lot
the
better. I
life
think your
hack right
brother your
there.
brother does it, right?
Oh
Doesn't he
yeah,
say he
Gabe
does it when he
definitely does
travels?
do that.
Yeah. I
I
learned how to do that when I went to Mexico. I got an app so I could sleep on the planes, and I put the headphones in, and it would just play like a fan noise, just a noise of a fan. I
I'm
slept so good.
the white noise thing. It does make you sleep really well. But it's reminding me of a story that I won't tell right now, but I can tell you later.
Well, now I want to know really bad.
We I'll tell it. We might cut it from the podcast, but the Twitch people can know. We went to a wedding, and we got pretty pretty drunk at the wedding. But then we got back, and we
Got
all
White
had to
Zinfandel drunk?
what?
You got White Zinfandel drunk?
No, I got beer drunk.
I
Um,
don't drink beer.
but then after we got back, we're like, you know what? It's still early. We're in Texas right now. Let's go party. And so we went out to a bar and essentially we pre-gamed. So we had some liquor at the hotel room. Then we went to the bar and we get back and it's like 3 a.m. And I don't know what was going through my brain at the time, but I had to be up at 4 a.m. to get on a flight. And so I had to ride in the car with my very conservative Christian grandparents and two uncles that are both pastors while I was still currently drunk. I got hungover on the plane. It took me that
I
long,
remember you telling me that story now.
but literally, Gabe had a white noise machine, and I was in the deepest sleep of my life for 1 hour. Like I have never been more asleep in my life.
I remember when you went to that wedding. Yeah, I
So
probably will cut that one out. Let's give it a tiny break.
yeah,
Here, I need to re-pour my white Zen.
it's time for a wine refill. Everybody out there, feel free to do the same.
Well,
Twixley.
this glass was like 60% ice because I put water in it and then stuck it in the freezer, so it had like the bottom ice thing.
Oh, gotcha. What does that mean you're plotting? I need more detail than that.
She's plotting and drawing.
Well, I hope you're
Draw
ready to
plotting.
play some video games with us, because everybody in here, if you'd like to stick around, we're gonna play some video games right after this.
I guess.
That looks awesome. What is that you're drawing?
That is Fawn from the game of Tyler's.
I'm not talking about your face. I know what your face is. I'm talking
Mhm.
about what are you drawing?
That looks awesome too. Your face looks awesome too.
Yeah, no, your face looks awesome too, but just I'm talking about the one with horns. I know what you look like, and you don't have
That
horns.
looks awesome.
Okay. I hope everybody's ready to have their mind blown, because I just found the best mascot in the history of mascots ever.
This is the new PDS mascot, correct?
And I feel like, okay, alert. If you have, like, I don't know, elderlies or children around, looking at this is going to be disturbing in some settings. But I would like to introduce everyone to Senor Testiculo,
Senor Testiculo.
a Brazilian cancer awareness group, has created a mascot for their Brazil's Association of Personal Assistants for Cancer. And his name is Senor Testiculo. And as you can probably guess, Senor Testiculo is testicles. He looks like a giant scrotum. And it's got a very disturbing array of hair on it.
He looks like he's got the face of Grimace from McDonald's.
Yeah, it's like if you mix Grimace with Mr. Potato Head and make him hairy, then you have Senor Testiculo. And as disturbing as it is to look at, it is, however, for a good cause, because they wanted to really shed a light on the fact that testicular cancer is a thing and everyone should be concerned about it and should be worried about it. But the nonprofit organization does have this quote: both children and adults love taking pictures with the mascot, a friendly snowman in the shape of a testicle.
A friendly snowman?
Yeah.
What? Is that that's his background?
I guess he's a snowman that looks like testicles
Oh,
and is
man,
hairy. It's a snowman that fell down a hill.
I found the pictures of the person inside with the arms coming out.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
No, it definitely has arms. So basically they've said, while he's a rather odd figure, he says Mr. Ball's done his job by helping to propel testicular cancer research into the media spotlight. And let me just tell you, if you even look up, literally it's called Brazil's Association of Personal Assistants for Cancer. If you look it up, guess what you're going to see? Senor Testiculo everywhere. Everywhere. So if that was their goal for just awareness, general playtime, they did it. They 100% did it. So Kirk wants a beanie that's made to like mimic Mr. Balls, and so we have to do that for him, honestly. And so that's
my Christmas present.
Yeah. But yeah, no, on a more serious note, like
Oh
I
man.
think testicular cancer is very treatable. Just give them a feel every once in a while. Public service announcement.
We are raising so much awareness.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm all good for it. I'm all good for it.
All right, guys. So that's our discoveries for the week. Thank you guys for hanging out and be on the lookout for our new mascot, Senor Testiculo.
He's coming. He's coming for everyone.
Don't say he's
Into your
coming.
dreams.
Don't say
Into
he's
your
coming.
dreams. Into your house.
Nope. Don't, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
We saved the best for last.
He's coming into your dreams. I don't like it.
I don't know. I think it was. I don't know. No, that's okay. I think it's okay to leave in.
I'll have to listen back to it.
I mean, it's clearly innuendo, but it's not anything like crazy. I don't think.
Oh man.
All right, everybody. What is up next is that we're gonna switch over because it's about to be time for PDS plays. We're gonna play some video games with our
Zach,
friends.
can you show me what your wall looks like with the green screen?
I don't know how to turn this on anymore. Let me see if I can get it figured out. Because it's not letting me do it with I'm using both of my cameras. I'll have to show you next time. But yeah, Kirk
So
set
we
up the
saw
green
somebody using essentially like green screens is like in the background, like on the wall. It's almost like a poster or something like that. And I think that's genius.
screen. Oh no, I'm gonna be getting on that real soon.
I think that was genius.
Yeah, I've got plans. Now I just need to go into After Effects and figure out how to make those visualizers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We got a lot of stuff to learn. I got to learn how to code. I need to learn how to use Illustrator, Photoshop. You're going to use After Effects. Then we could be a multimedia empire. She can help with that. Or we can hire her.
What? Hire you as our multimedia expert? I have to warn you, we don't make much money on this.
And by much money,
I mean any money. No, we make some.
we are hoping to make enough to pay off these microphones.
That's really our goal at this point.
Let's be honest. Yeah, our goal is to make $75 a month so we can make the payments on these microphones.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah,
we have simple goals.
No, we have positive attitudes. We have dreams and aspirations. We think they're attainable.
Emphasis on the word ass.
We've been doing 4 years of this now, so we have a realistic
I should stop this
mindset
recording.
for it. Oh, we're still recording. Need to show more chests, and then we'll be then our money will come rolling in.
Wait, I thought we get terms of service on that one. I don't think you're allowed to do that.
You don't want to see my chests.
I've seen it before. It just moved. Okay. All right, everybody. We are about to switch over so that we can play some video games. So as soon as you see the stream go down, hit refresh, and we're going to be back and playing video games. Thanks so much for checking out the stream. We really appreciate it, and we hope you stick around. And definitely let us know what you're up to tonight. let us know.
Viva, Senor Testiculo.
Yeah, let us know how you feel about Senor Testiculo. It's pretty haunting if you look at the picture of him. It's
It's terrifying.
very disturbing, the amount of weird hair placements. So I
I
mean,
don't like how he's got like a bunch of hair right on the
I
top of
know
his head.
it's all bad. It's all
It's
bad,
all bad. It
but
is
it's
all
for a
bad.
good cause. So good job, Mr. Balls. We're proud of you. And we will talk to you guys in just a second. Stick around.
See you a little bit. Bye.
Twixley, get in Discord.